Hello everyone, this is my third video on cell organelles. Here I'll tell you about plastids in detail and also give you a brief account on the peroxisome and centrosome. Now, you all have seen the different shades of green in the leaves and the bright red and yellow ripe fruits and also the beautiful flowers. What do you think? Where do they get these colors from? These colors are imparted by the plastids, which is an organelle present exclusively in the plants, and also some algae. Now, what are plastids? Plastids are organelles which are bounded by two membranes. And like the mitochondria, the plastids also have their own DNA and ribosomes. So they can replicate and also synthesize protein. So what do we call such organelles? We call them semi-autonomous organelle. So mitochondria and plastids both are semi-autonomous organelles. Now we come to the types of plastids. So there are mainly three types of plastid: the chromoplast, chloroplast and leukoplast. This differentiation is based on the presence and absence of some pigments. The chromoplasts are the colored plastids except green. The chloroplasts contain the green colored chlorophyll, so they are green in color and they take part in photosynthesis. And leukoplasts are the colorless plastids. Their main function is to store food. Based on the food that they store, they are classified into amyloplast that store carbohydrates, alloplast that store the lipids, that is the fats and oils needed by the plant, and alluroplast, the plastids that store proteins. Now let's see the structure of the most important plastid, that is the chloroplast. Like I already told you, the chloroplast is bounded by two unit membranes, the inner membrane and the outer membrane, and they have an intermembrane space between them. You can see in the diagram. The chloroplast has two distinct regions, the grana and the stroma. The stroma is the matrix of the chloroplast, where the grana and the other materials are embedded, and the grana are the stacks of thylakoid discs. Now you know what are thylakoids? Thylakoids are flat disc-like sacs which contain the chlorophyll. The thylakoids are stacked one on another to make up the granum. A single grana is called a granum. See in this diagram how the thylakoids are piled one on another to make up a granum. Now look, there are so many grana distributed in the stroma of the chloroplast, and these grana are interconnected to one another by structures known as the stroma lamellae. I've got two diagrams here which shows the stroma lamellae connecting the grana. Apart from the grana, the stroma also contains a variety of photosynthetic enzymes, starch grains, DNA and ribosomes. The main function of the chloroplast is to trap the solar energy and utilize it to manufacture food for the plant. And what do we call this process? It is called photosynthesis. The next type of plastid is the chromoplast. The chromoplasts do not contain the green pigment chlorophyll. They contain carotenoids. See, along with the DNA ribosomes, the carotenoids are also distributed in the stroma of the chromoplast. The carotenoids are the pigments that are responsible for the different colors like yellow, orange and red. By giving a specific color to the fruits and flowers, they make them attractive and attract the agents of pollination. They aid in pollination and dispersal of seeds. The pigment carotenoid has two groups, carotene and xanthophyll. Carotene is responsible for the orange color, while xanthophyll gives the yellow color. Now here you see, can you see these structures? These are the remnant thylakoid. Now let me tell you what are these. Sometimes the chromoplast develops from the chloroplast. Say for example in fruit ripening, the raw fruit is green in color, right? So when this fruit ripens, it changes its color to red or yellow. Here what happens is that the chloroplast of the raw fruit cells modifies themselves to chromoplast. The thylakoid membrane disappears and carotenoids are accumulated. so some remnant of the thylakoid may remain. Next is the leukoplast, which we have discussed earlier. They are colorless and their main function is to store food. Based on the food they store, they are classified into amyloplast, eleoplast and eleuroplast. Now we move on to our next cell organelle, that is the peroxisome. Peroxisomes are membrane-bound organelles that contain the oxidative enzyme. Their matrix contains a crystalloid structure which contains various enzymes. The enzymes primarily function together to get rid of the cell's toxic substances, mainly the hydrogen peroxide, and this is from where they get their name peroxisome. These enzymes convert the hydrogen peroxide to water, making it safe to be released back into the cell. Our next organelle is the centrosome. The centrosomes are located near the nucleus and they contain two centrioles which are surrounded by an amorphous mass of protein. The centrosomes play an important role in cell division in animals, but it is absent in higher plants. The centrioles are physical objects made of proteins called microtubules. The mother and the daughter centriole are linked together by interconnecting fibers. The microtubules assemble into spindle between the two centrioles, and then the centrioles pulls the chromatids apart during cell division. I'll tell you more about centrosomes while discussing about cell division. The points that I have discussed are given in the description box below. Keep watching my videos and subscribe to my channel by clicking on the bell icon.